And we're live. Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to our Friday live stream in EnviroGuard. I'm Mark Meyer, and I'll be with you today to go through a few topics that are kind of building on to the last live stream. So the first topic that we're going to talk about today is our new coatings and sealant selection guide. Everyone asks us two things. One is, hey, I've noticed that you guys make a lot of different products. What do each of these do so that we can begin integrating them into the services that we offer, or even, look at future services and profit centers? It's clear now. Good. And the second thing is, I don't know what the second thing is, but let's go right into the selection chart as we've got it here and take you on a tour of this. This is going to come out more in a PDF format, probably on our website as well. So this isn't the final version of it, but just walk through the information with me. And then if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat and we'll answer your questions as we go along. So let me pull this up. There we go. Maybe even further like that. Yeah. All right. So you'll notice that across the top here, we have MaxGuard Blackout, ClearGuard, Safeguard, etc., all the way through the Vapor Lock products. And if we come down, we've got three sections. One is the performance of those products. The second is the applications for use. And then the third is just this other section where there may be even things in the future that we add to this to enhance it further. But let's start at the top because there's five main characteristics that we run into all the time: breathability, moisture resistance, mold resistance, odor blocking, and stain blocking. Now, if you'll notice, we've listed this all from 1 through 5, meaning 1 would be on the low side and then 5 would be on the high side. Because if you're looking at Vapor Lock, for example, and you want to seal odors, you intentionally want the breathability of that to be low. So it's not a positive thing or a negative thing. It's just a rating scale based on low versus high. So, for example, we've got a medium breathability on MaxGuard, a relatively high moisture resistance, an extremely high mold resistance, a somewhat, a little bit of odor blocking, and then a maximum amount of stain blocking. That's how you should read this chart. So as we go one product after the next, from MaxGuard, for example, that is for mold and moisture control primarily in unconditioned, humidity-prone areas, over to something like, X4, okay, where we're dealing with wind-driven rain and things of that nature, then all of those factors are going to change. With X4, you're going to have maximum breathability and maximum moisture resistance, right? Those are both 5s. But when it comes to mold resistance, because there's not an antimicrobial built into it, then we have a 2 for mold resistance. Now, does that mean that in and of itself, it's not going to resist mold growth? No, because it resists moisture, but it's not the antimicrobial capacity of the product that's doing the work. It's the fact that it keeps the surface dry that's keeping it mold-free. Therefore, that's why when we say mold resistance, we're really talking about antimicrobial capacity. I might even make, as we go along, notes like that, right? So that everyone knows what we're talking about in terms of how we're measuring mold resistance. That's a very intentional mold resistance from that product being added into it. And then because we've got a breathable film with X4, right, maximum breathability, you also don't have any odor blocking characteristics or stain blocking characteristics because it's clear, right? So it just makes sense with every single product. So all 12 of our sealants and coatings are listed on here for you to be able to go through and understand in lieu of the characteristics you're looking for your job. Now, speaking of job, that's when we come down to the application section. Again, there may be more jobs or more applications that we need to list, but for right now, what we have is new construction framing, new construction doors and windows. The reason we listed this is that if we're in a new construction situation, and before dry-in, you're going to apply a product like MaxGuard, or any product for that matter, to resist mold and moisture formation in the inside of a building envelope, you want to know what product to use around those doors and windows. Then this is going to give you the selection guide for that. And in this case, you're going to see that MaxGuard MaxGuard Blackout, and ClearGuard are the products that you want to use when it comes to doors and windows, because all of the rain, let's say, is coming in those areas. So what we want to do is maximize the protection at those areas. Okay, the next is attics, basements, and crawl space structural. When we're talking about structural, what we mean is posts, beams, all of the wood primarily where moisture content can increase. That's what we're referring to when we say attic, basement, or crawl space, because those are unconditioned areas. But what we don't want to leave out is the potential for high humidity areas, which may also include attic, basement, or crawl space, but it could be other things. So we wanted to go ahead and list all of the products also that are built for those high humidity areas, because if you're in Texas, you're in Florida, someplace like that, you need to know what products are built just for that. For interior finished surfaces, we gave some ideas here like fixtures, carpeting, cabinets. We've got one product in particular that is touch point that is very unique, right? This is meant for all of those touch points. And so we wanted to call that out here just to kind of give you an idea of where to steer touch point, but we didn't want to ignore things like interior unpainted and painted walls, where you may want to use something like a MaxGuard or a ClearGuard if you're looking for a finish coat on top of surfaces that's mold and moisture resistant, or if you're doing odor sealing, for example, on top of a finished wall, then you would be looking at something like a Vapor Lock Clear. On the other side of that, you might be using that product not only to seal with, but also to prime with. So then therefore you would use Vapor Lock White to get your priming as a base coat, but to also seal from odor. Likewise, we could make our way over here with MaxGuard, and you go, okay, I've got these interior walls that I want to be mold and moisture resistant. I love the idea, or I want to tint MaxGuard to the point where it's mold and moisture resistant and actually provides the finish coat and the prime coat for that surface. And then you know exactly where to go with that product as well. So again, take into consideration all the performance benefits that you're looking for up here, and then match them down here with your individual applications, and you'll know exactly what product that you're looking for. Now, we could go through all these things such as post-water restoration, structural prevention, post-mold damage, structural prevention, etc. But I think what's important is that you grasp exactly what we're going for, so you know how to use this chart for your purposes, and that we can do additional training on top of this from this chart with your teams. The final section here are just some basics, right? Is the product rated for exterior use? Might be a question that comes up. What color is the product, right? So for example, I want to give one clear example here. Our original Safeguard product was intentionally made as a semi-transparent white product, so that from the standpoint of an industrial hygienist in a large commercial remediation or something like that, they can see through the coating to make sure that the remediation was done, but they can also see the coating on top of the surface simultaneously. So that's what we mean when we mean semi-transparent white. All other products are either white, black, or clear. Then, is the product tintable, right? So anything that is tintable where you could actually add color to it is listed here. Is it self-priming? And is it LEED compliant? LEED compliant meaning both LEED compliant for interior and exterior applications, which, by the way, is either less than 50 grams per liter of VOC content for interior, or 100 grams per liter for exterior. As you can see, all of our products are LEED compliant. Okay, so hopefully that chart will really help everyone begin to decipher the performance benefits of our coatings and sealants, where they should and can be used, and then all those other little details about it, so that when you're in the throes of putting together an estimate or something like that, if something such as LEED compliance is going to help you sell the job, then you know right away that it applies to our products. Okay. If there's no questions about that, we're going to drop into a really important topic, and Tanisha did a great video for us about a week ago having to do with protection, and specifically having to do with protecting yourself when you are dealing with oxidizers, OxyPrep, OxyPar, products like that. So let's take it away.
Hi, I'm Tanisha with EnviroGuard. We're here to talk about our Chemex 2 suits. They're nice and big, so you can move around in them. It does have the zipper cover right here to keep any oxidizing chemicals out. High and low oxidizing, OxyPrep, OxyPar, Superpar, Deuterion, things like that. It also comes with booties. It also has the hood cover right here for your mask, and it is elastic. Also has elastic wristbands. It is thick and reusable up to 8 hours. A single suit starts around $62, and a case of these, there are 6 in there, and it will be $323.47. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer those. So please feel free to reach out to us, 828-548-3340. Ask for Tanisha.
All right. Thank you, Tanisha. Tanisha's actually sitting right across from us right now, right across from me right now. Okay, so let's keep going. So the second topic today is certified firms. And what we want to talk about is how we're going to be managing this. And I want to give you some comparison and contrast as to why it's taken us a little while to get our arms around this. So as you probably know, we've got 2 brands that we manage. One is Enviro restoration. The second is Phoenix. That's our seamless coating systems that begins with the roof system. Now, when it comes to the roof system and when it comes to the jobs that are the size of a job that we would get involved with for Phoenix, all of those jobs are dealing with roofs that are, let's say, 2,000 to maybe 2 million square feet in size at $8 to $12 a square foot. What that means is that those jobs are robust and they make traveling to different areas something that can fit into your budget as a contractor, right? So a job that you might go on, even a small job for a roof like we were on last week, was about a $75,000 job, for example. And if you needed to go from Asheville, North Carolina to do that to Boone, North Carolina, it would be worth your while. But the same isn't true for a mold job that might be a $3,500 or $4,000 mold job. And so that's the disparity between these jobs. And that's the disparity between how many certified firms are necessary for EnviroGuard versus installers for Phoenix. Okay, it's a math problem. It's a revenue issue, right? And so what we want to make clear for the certified firm is that, first of all, the certified firm status, that partnership, is both selected and limited. And we're going to base that on 6 different criteria that I want to talk about. Everyone has a good sense of this, and we're going to begin changing the language that we use so that you don't just think that it is a class, like an IICRC class or something like that, but rather this is a true partnership, the same way that the installer program Phoenix is a true partnership. So the first thing that we're considering is population in terms of households, i.e. like DMAs and things like that. Even franchises in an area like Atlanta, for example, they may have 4, 6, even 12 different locations around a large DMA like Atlanta. And likewise, for the certified firm program with EnviroGuard, we expect something similar to that. Maybe not 12, but certainly multiples in those large DMAs. Whereas someplace like in Asheville, North Carolina, we only desire to have 2, and we have those 2 partners. Well, we have one right now and one joining us in the December class. So when we say that we're going to be selective and limited, the reason is that we're entering into a partnership that's not just about us with, working through an initial training on like our products or something like that. We're providing all the mechanisms from sales tools through marketing to make that a possibility as well. Because after all, what we're after is market share, not in terms of the products that we sell, but in terms of the jobs that are being done. So we are aligning ourselves with select customers in these areas to create more and more profitable jobs. So population is one consideration. The next consideration is income, but when we're talking about that, we mean income in terms of household income. We have to balance population and income, household income, off of one another, because there are going to be areas in, let's say, rural areas of Alabama, North Carolina, you name the state, and there's going to be rural areas where the geographic territory or region for a certified firm is larger than someplace that is Atlanta, Georgia, for example. The fourth, well, we talked about population, income, and then talked about geographic area. Geographic area is going to be one that plays with both population and household income. The Fourth is an area that we see, there's this dividing line, and that is between companies that focus on cash business versus insurance business. Now, this is an area where we would say for those companies that are focused on insurance jobs, like if 100% of what you do is insurance work, we can tell you pretty confidently, certified firm isn't for you. And the reason is that in the certified firm model, we are working through the marketing to sell jobs. We're working through the sales process to duplicate the effort within a company, so it's not reliant upon the owner. But when you get into the insurance world, now all of a sudden you're dealing with guys who are going out there and simply providing estimates on jobs, and you don't have to sell those jobs, right? There might be upsells along the way, but you're not selling those jobs directly like cash jobs. So this is one of those dividing lines where you go, hey, we are 100%, insurance work. We would have the tendency to say certified firm isn't for you. Oh, you're a cash customer who is focused on your marketing plan and executing sales and closing percentages. Certified firm is definitely for you. So that's the fourth part of this that involves selectivity and the limited opportunity. That's just based upon your business model. The fifth thing is being team focused or having a team mentality. And what we mean by that is that if you're the kind of company that is working to cultivate a team and a what would we call that? A culture within your company, a positive culture primarily, and it's something that's your focus, then most likely certified firm is going to be for you, because that's the vantage point that we come at this from. There is this connection between the field and sales that has to work together. And if you've got good input from the sales side, starting with the assessment, then the output in terms of job quality is also going to be good. And that's why we've created things like the Mold Severity Index to bridge that gap in communication between all of those areas, including the office itself. So if you are team-centric, then certified firm is for you. And then the sixth thing and the final thing is alignment with EnviroGuard, right? We've got to have a great working relationship that, just like you want that team atmosphere between your salespeople and your technicians, there's got to be that same team atmosphere between us and you. And if we can be casual and you can be casual, when we run into issues together, we're overcoming those by focusing on, rather than putting up fronts of, trying to be professional all the time and not focus on creating solutions for problems that we run into, then you're probably the right partner for us, and we are for you as well. That's our I guess, 6-part approach to how we are going to both select and limit the certified firm opportunity. So hopefully that sheds a little bit of light on where we are moving with the certified program. You're going to probably see updates to that on the website, updates in language in terms of emails going out, and the registration process, starting with the discovery call and or meeting that we have with you, because we just want it to be the right fit for your company and for ours for a great long-term partnership. So hopefully that is helpful. And if you do have questions about that, just reach out to us, right? You can just call us at 828-548-3900, or just shoot us an email at info@enviroguarddirect.com, and we will start that conversation. Okay. The third part of this, and let's go to the website now, and I'm going to share, is our new product, Pre-Clean. So a little while ago, we launched the product, but we want to bring everybody's attention to the product and to a contest that is going to be going on. Are you going to handle this one? I'm handling this one, right? The contest. Okay. So we are having a pre-clean contest. Obviously, we want to see everybody to begin to adopt the product, no matter if you're doing mold sales, water damage sales, fire damage sales, biohazard, whatever it may be. But we want to incentivize it. So here are the rules, and here's how this is going to work. So first of all, if you're not familiar with Pre-Clean, let me bring you up to speed. Think about taking Grease Gobbler and then adding to that Sorbicist, right? Sorbicist is a wetting aid that smells awesome. And then bring in the power of Grease Gobbler, and then you've got Pre-Clean, okay? So that applies to soot jobs as well as jobs where there's a lot of soil load for like your category 1 and 2 water damage jobs, all those sorts of things. When you have high mold residue on surfaces, this is a great way to cut through that residue initially before maybe you do react extract or something like that, and keep the cost of the chemical side down low by removing most of the soil load first. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about biohazard or water damage, there's always those situations, always those jobs where soil load is the thing that prevents you from having a clean surface. And then once you've got a clean surface, then we can talk about disinfection, right? Disinfection does not work on a dirty surface. So we've provided a couple of tools on here for this. One is a great little guide to PPE for oxidizers and non-oxidizers. Now, pre-clean is a non-oxidizer, so you only need to focus on the top part of this slide here. And then what you want to think through is, are you dealing with incidental, direct, or prolonged exposure? And then what kind of suit are you going to use, and what kind of respiratory equipment are you going to use on those jobs with pre-clean? Okay, so this defines it all for you there. And then further over here is just a dilution guide. So if you've got a low soil load environment, let's say you're on a category 2 water damage, and there's just, you know, a little bit of light debris and things like that, you might be on the low end of this at just a 2 ounce per gallon dilution. Or if it's a little more consistent and maybe it's been sitting there longer, but it's still a low soil load environment, maybe up to 12 ounces, right? So we just want to give you some ranges as to where you want to start based upon low, medium, and high soil load environments. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the contest. So the contest is going to be to win a to win a $500 EnviroGuard gift card, okay? You can use this gift card for any purchase at any EnviroGuard location. So it might be here, it might be up in the mid-Atlantic, might be down in Florida. And so the winner will receive this card. Now, here's the rules. You've got to buy at least one case of pre-clean to begin with to enter the contest, is the first rule. You've got to, on any given job, take before, during, and after images or video, and those have to be sent to Tanisha 2 ways. One is you could email those pictures or the video to tanisha@enviroguarddirect.com, or you can text those to 732-784-4121. Okay, either way, send those images or the videos to Tanisha on that job. And then Caroline is going to choose the winner of that $500 gift card. And in our live stream next month, she is going to announce who the winner of the pre-clean contest is. And your pictures or video will also be featured in an upcoming campaign, okay, where you will be named. So I think that's all for the contest. Does that mean that Caroline is up? All right. So Caroline is going to talk to us. Do you want me to? No, it's important that you are seen.
Okay.
I will step aside.
Okay. So for the next month or so, we are going to be promoting our coatings and encapsulants, and we have created these little trading cards that we're going to send out in our packages for you to collect. And so the cool thing about the trading cards is it'll teach you more about our different coatings and encapsulants and educate you on what you can use the different products for different things. And they'll all have a little logo that goes with it, or an icon. So you can see that this trading card has a little water droplet, which means that it's good for water remediation. Really, it's good for moisture controls and preventing water issues. But and then the bottom will have 5 qualities to tell you when it is good to use it and maybe when it's not as good to use it. And this is derived from the selection chart. So you can look at that to see all of them. But the exciting thing about the trading cards is you will be getting different trading cards in each one of your packages. So every time you place an order, you'll get a trading card. And there are 12 coatings and encapsulants, therefore 12 cards. And if you collect all 12 cards, you will get some type of reward. We haven't quite figured out what it is yet. So more details to come on that soon, but Mark promised that it will be big, so it will be good. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you had a cereal box and you wanted to get the golden ticket or whatever in your golden box or in your cereal box so you could get a big prize. Same idea. So if you collect all 12 cards and you send us a picture that you have them, you will be rewarded. So you want to make sure that you hold on to them as you get them. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say. And I'm going to try to get these trading cards to stop covering my face.
I think if you get at that one.
No, it's right here, dog.
Oh.
And I think that is all we have for the week. So thank you guys for joining us. And if you have any questions or want to reach out to anything, you can always email Mark, Tanisha, or myself, all of our names at EnviroGuardDirect.com. And we will talk to y'all soon. Catch you on the flip.